Me, Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner.
With all the sports we have, every time of the year is the best time of the year.
And the crowd just buzzing with excitement.
On 97.3 ESPN, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios. Here's Josh Hennig.
Yes, I am back for a Hump Day Wednesday here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. It's free thanks to First Bank of Sea Isle. It's Wednesday, and you know Dave Weinberg will join me in less than 20 minutes from now to get more into, we'll talk some Eagles this week. Eagles have lost 2 straight games for the first time since, before Nick Sirianni handed over play calling duties out of his hands. So we'll get into all that more this hour. As always, you can join the conversation at 609-403-0973. That is the text board, and you can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. You know, with the Eagles playing on Monday night, it feels like we're dragging this week out to the next game. And I know that for some of you, you're not a fan of that. You're not a fan of this, having to wait an extra day for the Eagles to get back on the field. But I think it's a huge positive that Philadelphia is not playing again for an extra day, because they need to hit the reset button, and they need to hit that button hard. I don't think it's a coincidence that this defense has looked like they are running out of steam. Because to me, when I look at the Eagles defense, I see a team that looks like that they have fatigue. And when I think about it, I look at what the Eagles did this past Sunday night. Whether you're watching in real time or rewatching the game later, it just feels like defensively that they don't have it. They don't have the energy. They don't have the focus. So I think one of the biggest values of the Eagles not playing for an extra day is giving this defense a chance to hit that reset button. This defense has been on the field so much, and the offense has done so little to help them out. And listen, we can debate until midnight about who's responsible for the offensive issues, but I think we all can agree that the defense, they're tired, man. They've run out of gas. And I just don't think that the defense is as bad as some of the stats out there say, because not every game is equal. I don't think it's a coincidence that in the games the Eagles have had 3 or more turnovers in the last 2 years, they've lost all those games. How on earth is A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Jalen Hurts fumbling the ball the defense's fault? We have to start recalibrating who we assign the blame and responsibility for in these situations. And I think that for the last 2 games, I was telling a buddy of mine this yesterday, because I had a quote-unquote day off yesterday where I actually did some extra work that would help me do my job better on the day-to-day. But, I was telling a buddy of mine, I said, for as much as we complain about the defense, it's the offense that really bothers me the most. I am so exasperated, utterly exasperated, with the people who they just get up there and they say, this team sucks. The Eagles suck. And it's first of all, it's such a weak-minded way to go through life, to just say everything stinks because it's not to your liking or that it's not good enough. It's so lazy brain to me. But the other side of it is, instead of saying the team stinks, why don't we say who stinks on the team? because then we can have a real conversation. If I'm sitting at, the bar, the local establishment, or a brewery, or wherever I am watching a game with people, and the guy next to me keeps saying, the team stinks, the defense is horrible, that's not a conversational point, because what you're telling me is, one, you're really not that smart because you're actually just vomiting at the mouth, or two, you don't really want to talk to me next to you. You just want to complain and you want me to listen. So in those cases, we can't have a conversation. I think part of the conversation has to be, one, this team has to play better football in general. Number two, the defense has to be helped by the offense. I think that there is a big picture issue with how this offense has functioned this year. And whether you want to blame the play caller, Brian Johnson, whether you want to say Jalen Hurts has regressed, I think there's a lot of reasons for why this situation is going on. And for me, I think that an extra day off allows the defense some more time to relax, and it allows the offense more time to stew on the reality that they have let this team down now for consecutive weeks. The Eagles' offense is the worst point output it has had in a long time. You have scored a grand total of 32 points in the last two games. That means you were averaging 16 points a game. That is horrible. Absolutely unacceptable to be doing that. And like I said, the last time the Eagles lost consecutive games, it was 2021. And what happened the last time they lost consecutive games? Nick Sirianni handed over the play calling responsibilities to Shane Steichen. But even then, the Eagles were averaging 22 points a game in those two losses. So this here is worse than the Eagles' previous two-game losing streak back in 2021. This is a new low for Nick Sirianni. And we are going to find out what Nick Sirianni is really made of. We're going to find out how much Nick Sirianni's really got it going, because this is the moment that he proves that if he is truly a championship level coach. You have to find a way to get this team figured out. You got to find a way to get this team back on track. This is where Nick Sirianni is going to earn his paycheck. It's not going to be on game day. It's not going to be at the press conference on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be in the game planning room, talking to his players, trying to figure this out. Over on the text board, 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See how Jeff in Ocean City chimes in and says, Josh, I have faith in Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, and Jason Kelsey to be able to get the Birds back on track and win the last 4 games. They don't want to go out the way the team has been playing. By the way, I'm heading to dinner. Dallas sucks. Call me dumb. Eagles are 10-0 when they score 21 or more points. That's from Jeff in Ocean City. Well, first of all, Jeff, I know you're not dumb. Second of all, I think the 10-0 stat is interesting because when it basically shows you that this team has to meet a certain level of expectation from their offense in order to win games. That realistically, the defense doesn't have to be great. as long as the offense does their job. And I think it's a very clear sign, Jeff, in Ocean City, that the offense is, in my opinion, arguably the greatest culprit in this whole conversation. You cannot keep asking your defense to bail you out all the time. They're going to run out of gas like they have this year. And frankly, I look at Jalen Hurts and Brian Johnson as the two biggest culprits. Jalen has definitely regressed. If you go based on people like Dan Orlovsky on NFL Network or other people like, who scout the tape, review the game tape, review the all 22, they are all saying that Jalen's decision-making has not been as good this year. So if Jalen's decision-making is not as good as last year, then that rolls into the other problem. Why is Brian Johnson putting Jalen in a position for him not to make the better decisions, as Shane Steichen did? What is the disconnect from Steichen to Brian Johnson? Is one harder on him and one more complimentary to him? I don't know the answer to that, but obviously there is a difference between what Brian Johnson is saying in Jalen Hurts' ear and what Brian Johnson is. And I think that's where Nick Sirianni has to do something, because Nick Sirianni absolutely has to get this figured out. It's his job to walk into that offensive room and sit in with Brian Johnson and Jalen Hurts and all the guys and say, no, you guys talk. I'm just going to sit here and observe. And then at the end of the offensive meeting, turn to Brian Johnson and say, all right, Brian, here's what we do differently moving forward. And if you don't like it, you can leave. I know that sounds harsh, but that's what Sirianni's got to do, something to shake this up. Because as of right here, right now, it is absolutely ridiculous that this team is averaging 16 points a game during this 2-game losing streak. And if the offense can't get it figured out, this Eagles team is going nowhere fast in the postseason. Coming up next, we'll get more into the Eagles. Dave Weinberg joins me for a Weinberg Wednesday here on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank. See how Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Hump Day Wednesday here, talking some Eagles football. Back to your text just a bit, 609-403-0973.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.3 ESPN with Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
If there's multiple urinals, do not go next to me.
Yeah,
if there's 5 urinals, 1, 3, and 5, then you fill in 2 and 4. Where do you go if you're the first one in? I go to 5.
All the way at the end.
The 5.
All the way to the end.
Then the next person has to go to 1. The next person 3.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
I hate free money and finishing first. Said no one ever. At Raceway Nissan, you'll finish first during the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event. Finish first with 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, get complimentary oil changes for up to 3 years with every new vehicle. And right now, finish first by leasing a 23 Nissan Altima for $259 a month. Stop by Raceway Nissan today or visit online at racewaynissanNJ.com. Approved credit. Offer ends 1/2/24.
It's Macy's Great Gift Sale. Take an extra 20% off gift ideas from designers they'll love with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of great deals on women's sweaters, coats, and PJs, 25 to 50% off. Beauty essentials from Origins, Elizabeth Arden, and more, 25 to 40% off. And the season's hottest toys, 15 to 50% off. Plus, everyone gets $10 Macy's money for every $50 spent. Now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
When you open the Bet Parks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moments. It's the energy of being all in, the passion of a perfect parlay, and the pure joy of a jackpot. It's another opportunity to win big every day of the week. Sign up for Bet Parks and get a welcome offer today. You play for fun, you love to win. You bet. Bet Parks.
Must be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio, or Maryland. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Joe Conklin here, and I'm excited to cheer on the Philadelphia 76ers this season with Parks Casino. Parks Casino, the #1 casino in Pennsylvania, is the official local casino partner of the 76ers. That's right. Two of the best brands in the Philadelphia area are joined together to bring fans what they love most, wins. Remember to tune into 76ers games to get in on the Parks offers for fans. And to see me live at 360 at Parks Casino, visit parkscasino.com for tickets. This is how you win. This is how you win. You want to over gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The holidays are the happiest time of the year. That is, unless you or your loved ones are miserable because of colds, sinus infections, or allergies. This holiday season, give the gift of better breathing with Navage. What makes Navage so effective? Well, unlike cold and allergy drugs that might take a long time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage provides fast relief from sinus congestion in 30 seconds flat. Navage doesn't just relieve symptoms, it attacks the cause by sucking out the germs, allergens, and viruses trapped in your nose that are making you feel miserable. Best of all, Navage does it naturally, without drugs. Wash away your cold and congestion problems this holiday season. Add Navage to your gift list so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
With GMF financing to qualified buyers, excludes Corvette, excludes prior sales.
This is the big one. It's Bennett Chevy's year-end closeout when you get our best deals of the year. But hurry, we need to sell 200 vehicles before December 31st. So you'll pay what our supplier employees pay, not 1 red cent more. Plus, you'll keep all the rebates. That could save you a whopping 10% or more on your new Chevy car, truck, or SUV. They're all on sale now. And there's more. Bennett's got available 1.9% financing, saving you even more money. And get this, now till the end of the month, Bennett is paying a minimum $10,000 for any trade, running or not, towards any pre-owned in stock. You heard right. A minimum 10 grand for total junk. Imagine how much you'll get for a good trade. And wait till you deal with our non-commissioned sales team. You'll love it because they're paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. So there's no pressure, no haggling, just pure holiday joy. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Just clean lines. Clean Lines Paint. CleanLinesPaint.com.
Transform your home with Clean Lines Painting and Power Washing. Right now, get free premium paint. Just pay for their labor to keep their team busy during the winter months when they can only work inside. Call now about their free premium paint for residential work. For a quality job, remember the name.
It's just Clean Lines. Clean Lines Paint. CleanLinesPaint.com.
Ready to change your phone service? You got to check out Boost Infinite Wireless at boostinfinite.com. You get their low-priced service and a brand new iPhone every year. And Boost Infinite's new technology gives you 3 networks for the price of 1. So you get the best quality calls and data anywhere you are. No one can do that except Boost. Switch today at boostinfinite.com or call 855-55-BOOST. See boostinfinite.com for terms and conditions.
Your palace awaits. Caesars Palace Online Casino is now live. Download today and register using code RADIOLAUNCH. New users get a $10 sign-up bonus, a 100% deposit match up to $1,000, and 2,500 reward credits after wagering $25. Must be 21 and physically present in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or West Virginia. Minimum wagering within 7 days required to unlock bonuses. Full terms and wagering requirements at CaesarsPalaceOnline.com/promos. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In West Virginia, all games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekend weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card good for use at Molly's Kitchen in Northfield for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
We'll check back in on the text board in just a bit at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. But right now, joining me as he does each and every week, it's a Weinberg Wednesday. Dave Weinberg is back here on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, welcome back. How you doing this week?
Doing well, Josh. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So before you came on, I was talking about how the last time the Eagles had a 2-game losing streak, at the end of that streak, Nick Sirianni released the play calling duties to Shane Steichen, and they never lost 2 straight games again until now. So for you, Dave, do you think Nick Sirianni is the person who needs to step in and get this offense figured out?
Honestly, no. I think the offense is okay as far as moving the ball. They just got to eliminate the turnovers. That seems to be the main problem. I mean, 3 turnovers against the Cowboys, and all 3 were as they were moving into scoring position. So I don't know that a different play caller is going to change that at all. I think they're okay with the way the game's being called, more or less. I just think that they need to take care of the football better.
Now, when you talk about the fact that, I wasn't suggesting he has to take over play calling, but what I will ask is, you said they're moving the ball up to cut down the turnovers. Do you think then, was that just a bad day for those guys, Jalen, A.J. Brown, and Devonta Smith? Or do you think there's a larger issue here? Because Jalen Hurts is top 5 in the NFL in turnovers this year.
I think it's a larger issue for Jalen. Like you said, he's kind of made he's made a lot of mistakes, quite frankly, this year in terms of ball security, whether it be interceptions, fumbles, or what have you. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, especially Devonta Smith, they have a pretty good reputation as far as not fumbling. So I'm just going to chalk that up as to one of those games where things just didn't go right. As far as that department is concerned.
So then how does a guy who was number 2 in the MVP last year all of a sudden become arguably, and I'm not trying to diminish him, but he is arguably part of the problem?
Oh,
He is a guy who is not helping the team right now in certain situations.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he is the quarterback, like we always say, gets the blame or the credit, right? And right now he deserves the blame. He's not playing very well. I still think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. NFL, I'm not so sure anymore. I think I just think that knee injury is more serious than what people are letting on. He seems to be able to run the ball okay, but he's not running as often. So I think maybe he's trying to protect himself a little bit. And I think, as we've talked about before, I think maybe opposing defenses are just trying to, or they just caught up a little bit to them and figured some things out. And the Eagles haven't done, which again, I guess goes to the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They haven't done a very good job of adjusting.
Right. So then, and that's where I think that, I was saying, I've said this all week, Dave, and I'll bring it up to you here. I think it's too simplistic when you hear, fans say the team stinks, they're stupid. Like, I feel there's way more nuance to this. And it's almost to the point where it's like, you can't enjoy a conversation with certain people because they can't get their head out of the sand pit that is, oh, the Eagles stink. It's like they lost 2 straight games for the first time since 2021.
Right.
For
They're
goodness sake.
right? Yeah.
Right. It's like, if you would have told me before the year that they were 10-3 at this point, everybody would be happy. I don't think there's a single Eagle fan would be like, oh, that's horrible. But their people are so hung up on the aesthetic of it, Dave, that they can't wrap their head around the fact that probably there's only like 3 or 4 people who are actually responsible for this team being where they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're 10-3, and I guess people can argue that. I guess aesthetics do matter a little bit. I mean, they haven't looked good in a while, right? I mean, they haven't really played a complete game, and I guess it was bound to catch up with them sooner or later. But who in the NFL does play a complete game nowadays, except for the 49ers, I guess. I don't really know that there's anything that needs to be fixed, honestly. Like you said, 10-3, everybody would have signed up for that, right? I mean, it's just the way that they got there. I guess once they were 10-1, and they had gone through the gauntlet, so to speak, of Kansas City and Buffalo, and wound up getting wins there. People's expectations changed a little bit, I think, and their perception changed. Where, I think 10-3 was probably not good enough for them after they were 10-1. But that's the nature of the NFL, though. I mean, everybody goes through slumps. The 49ers lost 3 in a row during the year, and even the best teams do it. I guess the really good ones find a way to figure it out. So we'll see if the Eagles can do that.
Dave, with that, you pointed out the point that they are 10-3. We talked about that. So for you, what is a reasonable expectation of this team moving forward? Like, do you believe they're going to get it figured out with this extra day up to Monday, or do you think that they'll continue to keep losing in Seattle?
I think they lose in Seattle, honestly. They've never played well there anyway. Seahawks have a reputation for dominating the Eagles really out there. And I'm not quite getting why they came back. Like, you played in Dallas. Why would you fly all the way back to Philly and then practice and then take that monster trip out to Seattle? Why not either stay in Dallas and find a place to work out, or go to Seattle early and work out there? That I know they've done that in the past. It just seemed like it was unnecessary travel to me. But maybe because it was Monday night, maybe that changed their plans a
I'm
little bit. I don't know.
assuming, yeah, I'm assuming it's because it's Monday night and not Sunday is my working assumption, because I know Nick Sirianni didn't even speak to the media on Monday. He pushed everything back to Tuesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
Saturday now.
Yeah, but no, I to answer your question, I think they're going to lose in Seattle. I just don't. I don't think they're figured it out yet. And to be honest with you, after what I saw from Tommy Cutlass the other night, I don't think the Giants are a guarantee either anymore, like they were.
Well, we'll get to the Giants in a minute, but let's stay with Seattle for a moment, because
Sure, absolutely.
they've lost 7 straight games to the Seahawks, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so long since the Eagles won a game versus the Seahawks. The last Eagles quarterback to beat Seattle was Donovan McNabb.
No kidding, really.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, it took me 3 guesses to get this earlier because Mike Gill was like picking my brain, but can Dave Weinberg name the Seahawks quarterback the last time the Seahawks didn't beat the Eagles?
Wow. Let me think.
It took me 3 shots to get this, so don't feel bad if you don't know.
Well, Jim Zorn was before that, I guess, right?
Someone actually texted that this afternoon.
Dave Craig.
That's more recent than that. Because remember, McNabb beat them, so McNabb was the quarterback. Because that's you got half the puzzle there.
Matt Hasselbeck. I don't know.
You got the right idea, but it was 2008, and the quarterback was Seneca Wallace.
Oh my God, I wouldn't have got that in 1,000 guesses. No, I didn't even know he played for him. I just remember I've been out there a few times, during even before that and during the losing streak. And I just remember one game in particular where Nelson Aguilar just couldn't catch a cold.
Oh, he couldn't catch anything. Yeah, the 2016.
He was just like so down on himself that Peterson actually benched him for a game just for his mental health. That's the game that really sticks out in my mind. The fact that Aguilar really, just like completely like south on the field. That was just amazing to me.
I think the game that sticks out to me is when the Eagles got crushed. I think it was like 42 or 52-0 to the Seahawks back in like 2005.
Yep, I remember it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that game was just like you didn't even think it was a professional football game. It felt like more like a college football game by the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been some ugly performances out there, no question about it, by the Eagles. I don't know whether it's just Seattle's the coolest stadium to me to play in. I just like to go to a game. It's just it's an outdoor stadium. It's out. The atmosphere is unbelievable. Beautiful city, beautiful park. It's just the whole thing is just tremendous. and it's really loud too. Maybe that was a factor too. I don't know.
Oh, it's certainly a factor. I mean, there are guys I've heard every player I've ever heard who plays in the league who talks about Seattle always brings up that you don't people like unless you've been there, you don't understand how loud it is there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they talk about Kansas City being loud too, but this is worse or better depending on your viewpoint.
Well, I think that the way I heard Colin Thompson describe it one time, he described it as, that Kansas City can be loud, but that Seattle, it's loud and it feels like the earth is shaking almost.
Yeah, it is, and they have this like the one end of the stadium is kind of shaped like a cone kind of thing, and
Right,
that's
so
where
it catches the sound.
that's the 12th man area where people are like really loud and banging stuff and screaming, and yeah, the whole thing just seems to it kind of like comes down on you, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah,
He's right.
The only team that Jason Kelsey has a win against now is the Seattle Seahawks. And
get out of town. How about that?
Well, he probably beat the Chiefs. He did that on Monday night a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, Jason said on his podcast, New Heights, he says, Seattle is the only team I've never beaten in my career. So,
he's not doing it Monday night either.
Dave Weinberg lacking the confidence in the Birds here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN at Dave Weinberg 19 on the Twitter X platform. Extra point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. Dave, you brought up Tommy DeVito earlier. So here's my position on DeVito. I think that he has two things going for him that are going to slowly come to an end. The one thing that's going for him is the fact that nobody took him seriously initially.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a lot of teams walked into those games assuming they were going to beat the Giants and realizing that, maybe this guy actually is capable of playing in the NFL. Like, I mean, he's not the first undrafted quarterback to play in the NFL. It's not like this is the first time it's ever happened.
Extremely true, yes.
But the other side of it, I think, is that, now people are having more tape on him. I think people are going to realize how to slow this guy down. And don't forget the Giants are coming off of a bye week last week. It wasn't like, the Eagles had to play 3 games in 13 days here with Tommy DeVito.
Interesting viewpoint there. I guess there's a point. He's not like a star or anything. That's true. It's just like I'm just like enjoying it so much. I just think the his family and his friends, his agent is just hysterical.
The agent is hilarious. I'll give you that.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna make an offer the Eagles can't refuse in a couple of weeks. It's really just a really cool story, and yeah, it will come to an end. I just don't know when. I think there might be another win or two in his future here. I don't know. He's clearly not as bad as I expected. I mean, he's won 3 in a row, right? I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that the one game they won 10-7. So it's not like every game has been a great game for him necessarily. But it's interesting because when they asked Brian Dable, the head coach, about like, hey, Tyrod Taylor is supposed to be coming back from injury, and Dable basically said, well, Tommy's winning for us.
Yeah, you can't possibly change quarterbacks at this point. No, I don't think so.
It's just the reason why for me, Dave, and maybe this is where you and I are like switching roles here. You're more of the realistic pessimist than I am. I got no time for this guy. I mean, the guy doesn't make his bed. His mom cooks for him. Like, I grew up in an Italian household, and my mom, when I was 10 years old, she's like, starting now, you're going to learn to take care of yourself because one day you have to live without me. You know what I mean? Like, that was my childhood. It was like, learn to do your own laundry, make your own bed, or you're getting punished. Do
you know the comedian Sebastian Maniscalco?
Yeah.
Have you seen his routine about he was like 12 years old? He was an Italian household, obviously. Father comes in, he's 12. Get outside and start a business.
Yes,
Says, Dad, I'm watching cartoons here. What do you want me to do?
Right.
I see your point. I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool. I don't know.
I mean, to me, what's more interesting about his story is the whole, he went to Don Bosco.
Yeah.
Now he's playing for the Giants. Like, that part of the story I enjoy.
Where did he go to college, by the way? I don't even know.
Okay, so this is the stupid part. So DeVito actually was originally recruited to go to Syracuse. Then he took a detour to Rutgers, but he couldn't get on the field at Rutgers. So then he went to
Really?
Illinois and played.
Oh, okay. Huh, interesting. All right.
So
He's
he kind of bounced around.
How about he's probably going to do that in the NFL too. Yeah. But
Listen,
I-
he is going to have a really good career as a backup quarterback. That's
yeah.
what I
Oh,
think.
yeah. I think you're right there. He's not a starter, a full-time starter. He's kind of like I don't know, like a Coy Detmer type. I think can rally the troops for a short time when you really need him to. That was the last time I can remember, like an Eagles quarterback being able to do that to really like you generate some energy. I mean, I guess Bobby Ewing did it for 3-4 weeks and then he completely went down the tubes.
Right.
Maybe this guy's like that, but Hoying was a 3rd-round draft pick though. He wasn't exactly like an unknown. So Detmer's like 7th-round pick out of Colorado. I remember Ray Rose just turned to him out of desperation. He nearly beat Brett Favre and the Packers. And,
Right.
it was kind of a really cool thing for a couple weeks anyway.
Yeah, DeVito could be like Coy Detmer without the neck beard.
If he can learn how to hold for field goals, he'll have a long career like Coy did.
Hey, I mean, listen, Coy was really good at it to the point where, if I remember correctly, wasn't like David Akers, like I never want anyone else holding the ball for me, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, now I don't know if DeVito has actually had the chance to hold the ball, so I don't know how that works over there.
They don't do it anymore. It's always the punter now, it seems like.
Well, I feel like nowadays, like, these kickers are so, like, remember the whole thing with Jake Elliott? Like, the reason why they didn't bring another punter for a while was because
he was the holder,
Jake
right?
Elliott was so comfortable with the one guy holding the ball for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the first time anyone else held the ball for him, like he missed a field goal, and they were like, "Guy, nope, can't do that." It was.
I know you and I have talked about this before. I don't understand why you have your punter as your holder and not your backup quarterback. If something goes wrong, don't you want their punter's pretty good at passing the ball, obviously, but if you, by and large, though, wouldn't you want your backup quarterback to be throwing passes off of a botched field goal instead of a punter?
Well, in that case, just make it your 3rd-string quarterback.
Yeah,
let the
right.
3rd-string quarterback, because usually the 3rd-string quarterback is like a raw athlete, right? Like the 3rd-string quarterback is like, like remember the Eagles used to have Mike McMahon, for that hot stretch.
Rutgers guy, yeah.
Some guy just can run around, Josh Johnson for the 49ers or something. Like some guy who, like, when the play breaks down and the bleep hits the fan, he can just go out there and like create maybe.
Right. I agree with you. Yep. No, nobody does that anymore, though. Everybody's there. Punters are always holders.
That's how Tony Romo was initially on the field. Remember, the reason why he was holding the kicks was because he was the 3rd-string quarterback for the Cowboys.
Yep.
And because he had always held the kicks, he just kept holding the kicks, even as the starting quarterback.
Yep. Very true.
But yeah, Tommy DeVito definitely needs to figure something else out, because he's
the question is, though, does his magic run out this year or not?
I think it does, because when you look at the Giants' schedule coming up, I just feel like there's got to be a couple of losses in there.
Or are the Eagles one of them or two of them?
Oh, I think the Eagles are one. I think what happens is that I think that they lose the game in Philadelphia, the Giants, but they win the final game of the season because the Eagles will sit half their team.
Oh, they'll have everything clinched by then, you think? Yeah.
They'll have something clinched, whether it's the division or a playoff spot or something.
Yeah, but if it's just a playoff spot and not a division, don't you got to play everybody?
I don't know. It depends on how it is, Dave. Like these tiebreaker scenarios. I mean, the fact that the tiebreaker scenarios are what they are is confusing people so much. Like it's just like the fact that the Bears still have a chance to make the postseason is just insane to me.
And the Giants too, I think, don't they?
Yeah, the Giants have a chance too. And the
that's
Giants'
incredible,
schedule. Here's what they got. They got to go to New Orleans this week. That won't be easy.
No.
Then they got to go to Philadelphia. So 2 straight weeks. Tommy DeVito's got to go to 2 of the loudest groups of fans in the NFL.
Right.
Then he comes home against the Rams. The Rams are playing for a playoff spot. And then the final game of the season is at home at MetLife versus the Eagles. So
not looking good for Big Blue is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, not looking good for Tommy D. But listen, good. He's still got his mom cooking for him. So he's got that.
There you go. More chicken cutlets.
Dave, before I let you go,
Sure.
One of the things, obviously, you and I always like to touch on is baseball at times. And I want to get from you, because you and I, there was a gap between, the last time we talked and now. This story of Shohei Ohtani basically deferring almost all of his money to the end of his contract
Right.
Like it's like Bobby Bonilla, but like next level thing going
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
I just want to get your reaction to it because like there's got to be people all over the place wondering like we didn't know you could even do this.
Yeah, I mean, you got to credit the Dodgers and Otani for agreeing to that. I mean, it seems to me like if you're going to get a $700 million contract, I think you'd want more of it than $2 million a year for 10 years. But I'm not. Some people seem to be like faulting the Dodgers for doing this, or like it's bad for baseball. Every team could have done this, right? I mean,
Yeah, under the rules, you're allowed to do it as long as you still pay them. That's all
right.
that matters.
And I've heard, small market teams maybe couldn't do it, but I don't know why not. I mean, 10 years from now, who's to say the Pittsburgh Pirates couldn't do it, or the Royals, or whoever, or the Reds? I mean, I'm flabbergasted that he didn't stay with the Angels. If it would have been this kind of scenario, I don't know why. Artie Moreno's kind of a moron, but I would think he would, if he had the chance to keep him and do it what the Dodgers are doing, then why not? But I don't know. Well, maybe he just wanted to play with the Dodgers. I guess that's the reason, and he was willing to agree to anything. But I don't have any problem with it. I know some people do, but it doesn't bother me at all.
I mean, my position was always that I had made the assumption that he was staying on the West Coast in some capacity because
Sure.
a lot
That's
of those,
reasonable,
yeah, well, a lot of those guys, they want to be on the television in their home market in Japan.
Right,
that's why
correct, yep.
Ichiro went to Seattle years ago and all that kind of stuff. So, I always assumed he would stay on the West Coast. I mean, the dude's a megastar, so he's not gonna the idea he's gonna go to Toronto never made sense to me.
No, me either. No, I'm with you there. Yeah, and there's huge Asian populations in LA, San Francisco, what have you. I could have definitely seen him going to one of those two cities. So yeah, I thought he was a West Coast guy the whole way.
Meanwhile, Bryce Harper is going to Flyers games when they're on the road trip. So,
woo, yay!
Oh wait, how did you feel about the Bryce Harper being a part of the Sunday Night Football thing?
I thought it was kind of corny, but that's okay. I mean, what was it? He was a Cowboys fan, and then when he came to the
basically growing up in Vegas, he was a Cowboys fan because when you grow up in a city without a football team, I guess you could pick whatever team you want. And
sure, yeah, you can.
But then he said when he got to Philadelphia, he realized he had to change his team basically, and the joke was that
was he a Redskins fan in Washington or no?
No, apparently not. So
oh, really? Okay.
So I guess Philly fans converted him where Washington fans couldn't convert him, I guess.
I got you. Yeah, I mean he's just playing to the masses at this point, I guess. Yeah, he's the man in Philly, so why not jump on board there? Yeah.
So then who's the better panderer, Bryce Harper or Nick Sirianni?
That's a tie. Harper's going to be around a lot longer than Nick Sirianni, though. So I guess
okay, all right. Dave Weinberg, a little side prediction there here on Game Night on 97.3.
Well, you know I'm not the biggest Sirianni fan, so sorry about that.
I know. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. He's not my neighbor. You don't have to apologize to me or something. He's not.
There you go.
He doesn't sign my paycheck, so I like
good.
Yep. Probably is good to sign my paycheck. You probably messed it up, honestly. But that's another story for another day. Dave Weinberg at Dave Weinberg 19 on the Twitter X platform. Extra point columns at 97.3 ESPN.com. And after every Eagles game, the 2-minute drill with Dave Weinberg up on our website 97.3 ESPN.com. Dave, talk to you soon.
All right, Josh. Thanks again as always. Talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Josh Hennick here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. We got a few more texts to get in before we wrap up the hour. I see them coming in 609-403-0973. DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See how George from Summers Point. I guess George missed when I asked that question to Dave at the beginning of the conversation, so I'll re-answer George's question coming up on the other side. Your text and more here on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Sixers basketball tonight on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the 76ers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Oh, baby, it rocks the rhythm.
throws it down. Wizards were ducking for cover.
It's Sixers Pistons. Tonight, coverage begins at 7 p.m. Philadelphia 76ers basketball on your radio home of the Sixers in South Jersey. 97.3 ESPN.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card good for use at Molly's Kitchen in Northfield for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon and other Apple gifts. Time's running out.
It's your last chance to trade in any iPhone in any condition for a great deal on the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium and iPad and Apple Watch SE with unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Act now. Visit Verizon.com.
I hate free money and finishing first. Said no one ever. At Race Week Kia on Rich Pike, you'll finish first during the Kia Season of Giving Back, because we're giving back with 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 90 days. And right now, you can buy a bold 2023 Kia Forte LXS for under $20,000. Stop by Race Week Kia today or visit online at raceweekkia.com. Approved credit with Kia. Method excludes tax, title, license, and fees. See dealer for details. Offer ends 1/2/24.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, save over $40 on a Werner 6-foot stepladder. Was $115, now just $69.98. And there's more. Get up to 30% off select kitchen cabinet orders. Visit us in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 12/7 to 12/13 on item number 98148. While supplies last. Minimum purchase and exclusions apply. See associate for details.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs and cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Hey, it's Mike Gill for Ambient Comfort Heating and Cooling Professionals. Isn't it amazing how teams can suddenly get hot or cold? How about your home? If you suspect your heating system may need repair, call my friends at Ambient Comfort Heating and Cooling and save $50 off any repair this month. If your system's making louder sounds, if you notice unusual cycling, or if your system is over 10 years old, it may need maintenance to keep running safely and at max efficiency. Ambient Comfort's skilled technicians are prepared to get you through the winter regardless of who originally installed your system. You may be able to reduce those increasing energy costs as well. Don't be left in the cold. When comfort matters, choose who I choose. Visit AmbientComfortNJ.com. That's AmbientComfortNJ.com or call 609-568-0955, 609-568-0955, and save $50 off your repair. Tell them Mike Gill sent you.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life, especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And if you need a little more pep in your step, get yourself a refreshing Peppermint Frosty Cream Cold Brew. Or you can give it to your mom. Whatever.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Vanilla Frosty is temporarily unavailable.
So proud of you.
There are many reasons to start recovery. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, we are here to help. Call us. Our trained counselors are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help. Your recovery is within reach. Call 844-REACH-NJ to learn about medication that can support your recovery. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
People who come to cricket stay with cricket, just like our customer Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan, depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
I'm Mike Mackler. At Goldenberg Mackler, we represent you, not the insurance companies. When seriously injured in any type of accident, call us. We'll speak with you for free and fight to get you the money you deserve. When injured, make the right call to Goldenberg Mackler.
For the best lawyer, call Goldenberg Mackler with 4 convenient locations to better serve you. Atlantic City, Northfield, Rio Grande, and Vineland. Call us at 609-344-7131.
The holiday countdown is on. Don't miss 50% off everything at your nearest Banana Republic factory store. Hurry to save on must-have gifts, winter essentials, and more now through December 19th.
Something good to know from First Bank of Sea Isle City. We have all of today's innovative banking products just like the big banks, but we offer something they can't. A personal community focus. Let's get you started with Bill Pay. You save time when you pay your bills online. It's fast, easy, and convenient. First Bank of Sea Isle City, a community bank that delivers more for you every day. Personal service, today's technology, from the people who truly care. Learn more at firstbankseaisle.com.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Sixers basketball coming up in about less than 10 minutes from now. Tom McGinnis calling all the action here on 97.3 ESPN. The Detroit Pistons are up tonight, who have lost 20 straight games. The San Antonio Spurs have lost 17 straight games. Detroit Pistons have lost 20 straight games. Shows you how the talent gap in the NBA right now is really poor right now. And this is the reason why you don't have expansion, because there's not enough really good players to go around to stabilize all these organizations, all these franchises. It's like there's like an influx of talent coming in here. All right, get to your text messages. I wanted to get to Jordan Summers' point first before we head out, because he did ask a question, and based on the timestamp on the message, it seems like he might have missed me actually asking Dave Weinberg this. Because, hey, Josh, I would like to hear you and Dave Weinberg's opinions on whether you think Nick Sirianni will go back taking over the offensive play calling in the near future. That's from George and Summers' point. George, I think that, as Dave and I talked about, I don't think Sirianni wants to or needs to take the play calling back. I think as of right now, the Eagles don't need Sirianni calling plays or doing anything like that. I don't think that solves anything at this point in time. I think that all that would do is further complicate things. I think Sirianni is a guy who he has performed well as a more of an executive, overseeing the whole operation. He's let other people do their job. Do I think there are times that he needs to have a stronger hand involved in some of those other decisions? Sure, absolutely. Anonymous texter says Tommy DeVito is cringe bait. Yeah, he belongs in a reality TV show. Maybe he'll date a Kardashian next. That'll help his profile, right? Texter says I wanted to ask you guys if the Angels would pivot their stance to trade Trout now that Ohtani is gone. The problem with Ohtani being gone is I don't think that changes the Angels' position. I think the Angels, they're so poorly run, and they're such an imbecilic, really run operation between the GM and the owner. I think that they have this hard-headed attitude that they're not going to trade Trout, and Mike Trout is not this prima donna who's going to go to the front office and be like, trade me or else. Like, he's not one of these NBA players or some guy who's got some massive ego. He's going to, throw his weight around the Eagles organization. So I think that Trout for now is still stuck in purgatory. Sixers basketball next. I'm Josh Hennig. Have a great night, everybody.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. It's week 15. And the Eagles head to Seattle to face the Seahawks on Monday Night Football.
He is brought down. He fumbles the football. It's picked up. And running along the sideline and in for the touchdown is Jalen Carter.
Eagles Radio Network coverage begins at 7. Merrill and Mike call all the action starting at 8:15. This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN. Brought to you by
Jenkins Plumbing and Heating at jenkinsandsons.com. Piccalilli Inn. Nobody beats the Piccalilli, Route 206 in Chemong. Frank Vincent Windows, Roofing, Siding, and Doors make your home look new again. BMW of Atlantic City. Shop our complete inventory online at bmwatlanticcity.com. Ocean Casino. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. And First Bank of Sea Isle.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football.